I'm going to be walking the St Cuthberts Way, one of Scotland's great trails, with my two spaniels, Bailey and Danny, my friend Sharon. This is described as one of the most beautiful, varied and enjoyable long-distance walking routes in Britain. It is a 100-kilometre route bridging the national border between Scotland and England, starting in Melrose in the Scottish borders, where St Cuthbert started his religious life, and ending at Holy Island off the Northumberland coast. So Sharon and I have driven up to the Scottish border town of Melrose. We're finally here. We're at Melrose Abbey. We're at the start of the St Cuthberts Way. Quite excited, quite anxious, but it'll be great. With a long drive up to get to the Scottish borders, we planned our first day would be a short leg up and over the Eildon Hills and down to the village of Newton St Bowsells, where we were going to stay on the Sunday night. I realised I haven't really recorded any audio on the first day, probably because I was concentrating on getting up these hills. The triple peak of the Eildon Hills would actually be with us for quite a long part of the journey. There is some evidence that prehistoric people regarded the Eildon Hills as a holy place, and scholars believe they may have been a place of ceremonial gatherings. One myth is that King Arthur and his knights lie asleep under the hills. All I can tell you is that the views were fantastic from the top, but it was quite a steep climb. So the trail links several sites associated with the life of St Cuthbert. He was probably born around AD 634 and began his ministry at Melrose in around 650, hence why the trail starts at Melrose Abbey. He became the Bishop of Lindisfarne, as he was very close to the Farne Islands, which are close to Holy Island. When he died in 687, he was originally buried at Lindisfarne, but following the Viking raids on that area, his remains were moved by the monks of Lindisfarne and eventually were buried at Durham Cathedral. That is the Eildon Hills that we walked over earlier. Some of the other walkers we met on the route were following it for spiritual or religious reasons, and some people like us were just walking it to experience the beauty of the landscape. So we have walked there. That's very cute. Can you do a cute face? End of day one. This is the Dryburgh Arms Pub in Newton St Boswells. Highly recommend getting in haggis pizza. And we're off. Come on, over the bridge. So we're back, day 2 of the St Cuthberts Way. We had a lovely night's stay at the Dryburgh Arms Pub. Really good breakfast, really nice place to stay overnight. Recommend it if you're just doing a short first day like we did from Melrose. And we're now walking through this lovely woodland area. Just try not to trip over, which absolutely smells of wild garlic. It's so strong. But dogs are very happy. There's a stream, they're in and out the stream constantly. It's a good start. So over there, the Eildon Hills, River Tweed, and if I zoom in, there we go, the William Wallace statue.
The North Sea of America is internationally known for its fishing, particularly in Atlantic salmon, more of which are caught here than any other river in the UK. The Tweed and its catchment rivers have been designated an SSFI. The long and the short, the rest of the.
We've walked up to Dryburgh Abbey, but unfortunately you have to pay to get in, which we haven't done. This is quite interesting. Lady Haig's Poppy Factory. So anyway, we're going to walk back down to the river that way. So this fabulous gate was the gateway into the orchard of the abbey that was built by, I'm going to say, the Duke of Bewdley. What is no Yeah, no trees in the orchard now, just some cattle. It's quite a place. And then we just walk back through Dryburgh to the River Tweed. There is an option to stay at the Dryburgh Abbey Hotel, which is also dog friendly. We felt maybe we were a little scruffy because it did look rather smart. Bailey, come on. Come on, it's too deep. Good boy, come on. Come on, Bailey. Come on. Yeah, don't you follow him. Come on, this way. Bailey, come on. Where are you going now? This section along the Tweed is absolutely beautiful. We've got all this woodland, really well defined path, quite a few steps when we need to go up rather than scrambling, and the river itself is just beautiful. Happy spaniels. So we're now in the village of St Boswells. That was the village hall, which is quite a striking building, and there's public toilets, there's a little village store, a butcher's, even a gun room should you need it. So we've come through the most beautiful golf course at St Boswells, and then we're carrying along this path along the Tweed, trying to stop the dogs swimming quite so much. Come on, Bailey. These cliffs are quite spectacular. Look what that property is over there. Left the River Tweed, up quite a lot of steps. Behind this wall is Benrig Manse. There's a handy bench, good place to stop for lunch. Let's walk along this quiet line over Disused railway line down there, and then carry on along here. There we go. Deer Street. That way. Now we come to one of the well-known points on the trail, which is Lilliard Stone, a monument to a woman who, according to legend, fought bravely in the Battle of Ancon Moor. So this is Lilliard Stone, and there's a very good poem down here, which I won't try and read out again with my very bad Scottish accent. We can still see the Eildon Hills in the distance. They are finally looking a bit smaller, because we do seem to be struggling to get away from them. So we're just over halfway of today's walk, and we're currently walking along an old Roman road called Deer Street, and we've just passed the site of the Battle of Ancon Moor. I will put the sign up I took a picture of, and it depicts the site. There was a famous Scots victory during yet another bloody conflict between the English and the Scots over the borders. So we're about just over a third. So Deer Street is a long straight road, obviously, Roman road. We're just over a third of it along. It's been a mixture so far of woodland, and now it's a bit more open, as you can see. It's been really enjoyable. The dogs really enjoyed it. The River Tweed, walking along there, was absolutely fantastic. It was beautiful. The dogs were in and out of it, so they've had plenty of water. I'm sure they will be quite tired tonight. So thoroughly recommend this walk so far. St Cuthberts Way so far is everything we thought it would be. This gorse is in full flower and smells absolutely amazing. And that is the direction we have come from. As you can see, a nice straight Roman road. Definitely didn't need to worry about Deer Street being boring. It's actually been really interesting, and this last section is this lovely woodland. And I think the reason it's not boring is because you can never see that far ahead. So St Cuthberts Way actually goes that way, but we are going to the cafe at Hairstains for a well-earned afternoon tea. We are there at Hairstains Visitor Centre. So after our detour to the Visitor Centre, back on the St Cuthberts Way. So, come on boys, over the River Cheviot. That's it, come on. Let's go.
Follow this way for 1.6 kilometres.
Good boys. Come on, Danny, it's okay. Ooh, bouncy bridge. Ooh. We came off the St Cuthberts Way at this point, walked down the A698 to catch the bus down to Jedburgh. End of day 2. Walking out of Jedburgh up this B road, and at the top we'll rejoin St Cuthberts Way. That is the Eildon Hills, quite far in the distance now. Back on the St Cuthberts Way, and we are going to be heading up there. So day 3, we stayed in Jedburgh last night in the Capon Tree House Hotel and found a very nice dog friendly pub to eat in the evening, and then we walked up the Melrose Abbey way out of Jedburgh, and we're back on the St Cuthberts Way trail, and we're in this plantation which is lovely. It's going to be a very hot day today, so we've started early to try and enjoy some cooler weather, and we'll probably stop for lunch at Moorbattle before we tackle Wideopen Hill, which is A, a very steep climb, and B, going to be a really hot part of the day. But there are streams before and after those hills, so plus carrying water, so hopefully the dogs will be okay. But yeah, isn't this gorgeous? What a view. So we have just walked up this quite steep little hill up here. Look at those views. Another section of beautiful woodland, uphill again obviously, and really well signposted so far. That is the Eildon Hills over there that we can still see behind us, and we are heading to Cessford Castle, down there to the village of Cessford for a break. Lunch break, pre-lunch break at Cessford Castle. It's alright, I'm going to flip it round before I get to you. I'm going to get that sheep though. Really was quite a hot day, and by the time we got to Moorbattle, Danny was definitely struggling in the heat, and so we decided it was not wise to take him up and over Wideopen Hill, where it was very exposed and there was very little water. So we took the decision to chill out at the lovely community shop in Moorbattle, and then got the bus to Town Yethorm, where we were staying overnight, and the boys could cool off by the river. So here we are, leaving our B&B in Town Yethorm on the start of day 4. So that is the town of Kirk Yethorm, which we're sort of walking around the back of. Beautiful morning. This is going to be one of our few flat stretches, because over there are the Cheviot Hills. And that is the Border Hotel, traditionally the end of the Pennine Way, which we are going to be joining for a short section. And I think we're carrying on that way. Note to self, get on the right path and then you don't have to scramble up here. The path is just up there. And then we're going to leave the Pennine Way, St Cuthberts Way, that way, somewhere. Goodbye Scotland, hello England. Quite a tricky section through that Forestry Commission bit, back into some open fields, lots of sheep. Dogs are on the lead, A because of sheep, and B because obviously it's very hot today. I want to keep them not running around too much.
The map.
These are quite incredible views. We think we're heading up in the gap between those two hills. At least this little bit's flat at the moment. And that is the first sign of the scenery changing. Cheviots are still up here to our right. But over there, the landscape's changing a bit. So we're finished all the up section for the day, and then we're walking on this. You can see there's moorland behind. Dogs have been on lead most of the day because a mixture of sheep, ground nesting birds, and we're trying to conserve their energy after that incredibly hot weather yesterday. But you can see it's absolutely stunning. We're up at the top of the Cheviot, and shortly we're going to drop downhill into Wooler, which is where we're staying tonight. That is our first view of Wooler. Day 4 done, in the pub, ordering food. So that is the town of Wooler down there. We're walking along the edge of this moor before we drop back down over there somewhere. Exactly where you're going, yeah. Oh, that must be Thingy Hall over there. So there's quite a lot of these Second World War pillboxes in Northumbria, because they were worried that Hitler was going to invade on the Northumbria coast, so it's quite fascinating to see it like that. Oilseed rape looks like someone's dialed the colour up on it. Good boy, Danny. So we are heading up towards St Cuthbert's Cave, but you can see there in the background that's the Cheviot Hills, and somewhere behind us is Wooler, where we walked down yesterday. So we've come quite a long way today.
There you go.
So this is one of the
Now turn right.
landmarks of the trail, St Cuthbert's Cave, which is also going to be a place to stop for lunch. And this is the most people in one place
Follow this
that
way
we've seen when
for
we haven't been in a
90
town
metres.
centre. Probably. Seaside. Somewhere over there is Sharon Island. And that looks like the causeway. Arrived at the Lindisfarne Inn, day 5 done. So there we are, going over to Holy Island. We stayed at the Lindisfarne Inn last night, and walking along the road. Causeway is already open. I think this is a fabulous way to finish what has been an amazing walk. Boys, this way! The dogs are just racing and racing and racing. We stayed at the Lindisfarne Inn last night, this way. Which was fantastic. Really dog friendly, good food, good breakfast to get us set up for the day. Good boys. And now we're heading across the Pilgrim's Crossing. Come on boys, this way. I would thoroughly recommend this walk. I mean, we were very lucky with the weather on some counts. It has been really warm. Today is the coolest day. But it's been a real challenge with the dogs, particularly on the day we were due to go over Wideopen Hill. Bailey, don't drink water. Because Danny was on the verge of getting heat stroke. So, as I said earlier in the video, we ended up taking the bus for that last bit from Moorbattle. But it's been friendly people, beautiful scenery. It's quite challenging. A lot of people say, oh, this is an easy walk. Yeah, it's really not. Some of those hills are steep. And if, like me, you're a little bit overweight, those hills are a struggle. And, you know, I sit behind a desk all day. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Thoroughly recommend it. It is a bit muddy. Boys, in this section here, it's really quite muddy. Those people in front of me, one of them almost disappeared into a big hole of mud. So we're just taking it steady. That's it, we did it. Holy Island, Lindisfarne Priory, a crab sandwich, 100k done, ready for a long drive home. Thoroughly would recommend this walk. Thank you for watching. Please leave me a comment and tell me what you thought.